Hi everyone, this is Kubrick bringing you another video from the World of Warcraft universe. This time we're in the midst of Pandaria Beta and we are trying out the Mogu'shan Palace, which is one of four dungeons available for testing in the beta as of this time. So, as you might see, there are two guys offline in this party and we won't get any replacements throughout the time we're in here, but we still managed to do quite okay. We're actually going to wipe once near the end, but other than that we're managing. It takes us a little bit longer to burn down the trash and to get through the boss fights, but other than that we're actually doing this. So here we are at the first boss encounter, and it's a Mogu clan meeting, and we're actually going to fight off 3 of the Mogu clan leaders. And first out is Min the Cunning. He has 3 abilities based off nature damage, and the first one is his Hurricane, which is a spinning ability which will suck you into it, so just move away and you'll be just fine. Secondly, he has a Whirling Dervish which he will summon, and it will move randomly throughout the room and dealing damage to anything getting into its path, NPCs and party members alike. And thirdly, he has his Lightning Bolt, which will hit his currently target for an amount of nature damage. We had no issues whatsoever with this one, and just rinse and repeat until he gives up, and then you will get the next fight. I just had to do that spinning crane kick there with all of the NPCs involved. I just love to see those big numbers for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And there he gave up, and we will meet the next one. And this is High-End the Unstoppable. He is based upon fire damage, and he has a Conflagrate, which is a fire damage dot, which he will place on a random party member. It deals fire damage each second, and when it wears off it will deal additional fire damage to anyone nearby. Secondly, he has his Meteor, which hurls a fireball at a random target, at a random party member, and it also has an AoE effect. So just move out of the fire and you'll be okay. And finally, he has his Mortal Strike, which he will place on his current target, dealing physical damage and limiting the healing by 50% for 5 seconds. Yet again, we had very little trouble with this, and the healer is doing just fine. The healer will eventually run out of mana here, but that's pretty much because we are taking too much time due to lack of DPS. So third up in this fight is, what's his name, Kuai, and he's lion, trusted lion Mushiba. And actually what you want to do here is to kill the lion. It's the lion that is making the most of the damage to the party, and he's pretty much untankable. He will randomly charge around and deal damage to anyone. So kill him first and stay out of that frontal AoE thing there, which I missed twice. And there's nothing to it. Once the cat is dead, you're pretty much fine. The boss himself doesn't do that much damage, so well, just stay out of the frontal AoE thing there, and so the rest of the fight here is quite boring, so we're going to speed this up and get done with it. So where are we with this? I actually think that we are back to those brainless tank and spank 5 events that we had in Wrath of the Lich King, where everything is just a little bit too simple. Which is a shame, because there aren't bad 5-mans at all. There are interesting mechanics, there are interesting boss encounters, but they could be a little bit harder to manage. I wish I could say that I was already grown out of these instances, that I was outgeared and had and so on and so forth, but I'm not. I'm level 89. I'm not max level. I'm wearing a combination of greens and blues, which are quest rewards, and there is 1 or 2 items I got from other instances, but that's pretty much it. So doing this on 3-man with that little effort as we actually put into it, that just seems wrong. There should be more. It should be harder to do this with an incomplete party. That's my thought. I hope and believe that there are more guys out there that has the same thought as I have here. So this is probably the most annoying trash pack in this instance. They are wearing this shield buff, which can be spell steal, but we lack a mage here. We lack DPS, as I said. So it just takes us some time to kill them. But that's actually all it is. It takes us a little bit more time. So I know I'm bitching about this. I'm going back to the point that things actually could be harder to make the fights more interesting. So when the Cataclysm first launched, we actually saw some challenging fights during the level up experience, and we saw trash packs which we had to consider using crowd control and take them down in a specific order to not wipe on them. I don't say all fights should be like that, but there should be some, just to spice things up and make it a more enjoyable experience, to feel that you actually accomplished something. This isn't the case here, and it wasn't the case in Wrath of the Lich King. So that's why I'm comparing them to each other. It's a little bit... It's not challenging enough, let's say that. It's not challenging enough, and it should absolutely be that to keep the game interesting. Even though it's the level up game. I know people say there is no game until max level, but I would like it to be. The level up experience is just as much a part of the game as the end game. So yeah, I will stop bitching about that for a while. I'll probably come back to it later on. So here we are, we're pretty much doing a gauntlet down here to the next boss. Just jump down the stairs and they will stop spawning, and then we'll worry about the pack behind us when we're done with the boss. So here is a boss encounter which actually should be a challenging encounter, where you should use crowd control, and you really shouldn't be able to do this with 3 guys with absolutely no crowd control whatsoever. But as I will prove to you, it's doable. It's more than doable. We will do it here without wiping. We are going to drop in health, and still we're going to pull through. So we have Gekon, who is the boss himself, and then he has 4 ads, which 3 you see right now, and the 4th will spawn as soon as the fight starts. So these guys are having their specific abilities. Glintock Ironhide, he reduces damage taken by allies within 5 yards by 50%. Another inflicts 150% weapon damage and stunning a target for 5 seconds. And a third one, the Glintock Oracle, he heals all his allies within 60 yards. And the Hexer is inflicting some 50,000 shadow damage and reducing cast speed. So this is definitely a fight that should benefit from using crowd control in a smart way. And look at this. We're tanking and spanking this with very little effort. So yeah, I'm dropping here. The priest is almost out of mana again, but still we managed to stay alive. I'm popping my mitigation abilities, and I'm using my self heals as much as I can. So probably, surely, the Brewmaster is a bit overpowered at the time, and will probably be subject to changes before Mr. Pandaria goes live. But still, I don't think that we should be able to 3-man this fight as we are here. So, well, we do have 2 ads left, and when the ads are dead, there is nothing more to this fight. The boss doesn't do that much damage, and as soon as we drop the last one here, everybody will be at full health again, and we will just burn him down. So I'm going to speed up the rest of this fight and move on to the final boss in Mogu'shan Palace. So if you've seen any of my other 3 YouTube videos, you would have noticed that I'm usually on a paladin, protection paladin. So I still play tank as my main character. And for the first time in some 6 years, I'm actually considering, well, not re-rolling, but leveling an alt, which I'm actually would be interested of doing some progress gaming on. The monk class, and especially then the Brewmaster, which is the one I have tried out, is exceptionally fun to play. I absolutely love this class, and that's quite a big thing when it comes from me, as I pretty much leveled my first alt chart to max level in Cataclysm, which probably says more about Cataclysm than it does with my gaming style. I've been quite faithful to my paladin throughout the years, but well, he is going to get some competition once Mr. Pandaria releases. I just think that the monk class is essentially just fun to play. It has, I wouldn't say it has a revolutionary resource system or so, or it's brand new, because it does remind of the resource system that we see with the druid and also with the rogue, where you have energy and you build up your resources and spend them on abilities. But it definitely has its own twist to it, which makes it interesting enough. So the Brewmaster specialization then, well, it might just be the best tanking class available in the beta right now. It's extremely versatile. It has a nice toolbox both when it comes to mitigation and threat abilities. I mentioned it before, it's overpowered as of now, and I guess we're going to see some changes to the Brewmaster class, the Brewmaster specialization, if not the Monk class overall, before Mists of Pandaria goes live. Otherwise, I guess we're going to see quite a few unemployed tanks hanging around in the capitals looking for jobs. So we're actually nearing us the end here, and this is the second to last mob pack before the final boss. So I did promise you a wipe at the beginning, and here it comes. So these 4 guardians, apparently random charges players of the party. I just figure it became too much for the priest to handle. There went the paladin, and I almost go there. So I think the priest will drop in any second, and it's going to be my turn to die. And there I'm dead. So edit out and let's go kill the last guardian. So here we are then, the last boss fight, and it's Sin the Weapons Master. And I've actually found this to be the most fun and the most complex fight so far in the beta. Basically it's all about avoiding stuff, because he's going to output quite a lot of stuff throughout the fight. So first of all, I'm going to pull him here, and I'm going to place him just off the stairs and to the side. And what I'm going to do here is to avoid his ground slam, which comes there. And while he casts his ground slam, he won't move, so you can just sidestep out of it and then get back into position. Next is his Flame of Fire, which you saw to the left of me there, and as soon as you see it be cast, just move out of it and you will come to no harm. So, and furthermore, his Whirling Axes, which are those red spinning things that you can see throughout the room here. They do quite a lot of damage, so you don't want to stand in them. Next up is when he reaches, I think, 70%, he's going to launch his blade trap, which is essentially daggers flying from one side of the room to another, and you can see them there now to the left of me. They do some 5k damage every half second, so you really don't want to stand in them, which really isn't that big of an issue, because they are easily spotted, and with some correct positioning you won't even get hit by them. And finally, when he reaches 25%, he's going to activate the last of his trap, which is Death from Above, which will fire arrows to random players, causing some 1k damage every second. With a good healer, it won't be that big of a deal, as he can heal through it. So, well, this pretty much brings me back to my original point. We are 3-manning this instance. We're not at max level, we are definitely not out-geared as of yet, so it really shouldn't be this easy. It definitely should be a little bit harder to manage through this, because this is actually a quite interesting fight with some quite complex mechanics. There is a lot of stuff going on, and it could actually be a little bit harder. I could make the point that I'm an exceptionally skilled player, but that would probably be a lie. But anyway, this has been the Mogu'shan Palace 3-man. Hope you enjoyed the video, and till next time.